Hey, what's up, YouTube? First off, hit the like and subscribe button. You know, today's topic is basically the importance of the Black Panther Party. Even to this day, even more so now probably. But let me break it down for you. First thing you got to understand what the whole purpose of the Black Panther Party was. And all you have to do is pretty much look at the 10-point platform, and that'll describe to you the purpose of the Black Panther Party, which is in a nutshell, freedom and equality for black and oppressed people, primarily black people, which is why, even though they had plenty of supporters, but, whites couldn't join the Black Panther Party by default, but that's a whole nother issue. But basically, the Panthers was primarily for, freedom and justice and equality. They understood as capitalism as one of the primary means that the ruling class used to oppress us and keep our necks down. They understood the police as the first line offense for the ruling class to brutalize, poor and oppressed people, primarily black people of African descent here in America. So the party was pretty much structured around defending that. Huey said, get you to understand the nature of your condition. You know what I mean? And through capitalism and certain institutions and businesses that was using, to oppress us or whatnot. So basically, they was teaching people to basically develop our own, but it was a socialistic approach. And this is important because at that time, and I'll start getting into this, but like I said, at that time, not even at that time, even now, through capitalism is like monopoly. So through a socialistic structure, beginning, basically we together we can achieve more, meaning that basically we all playing on one card, so to speak. So basically we all bringing our money back to the pot, and then we start accumulating and buying, property and institutions, etc. You know what I mean? And of course, and that's what well, I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's basically what in a nutshell that the Panthers advocated as far as a socialistic approach. Now that was just to get the people together. Now Huey mentioned dialectical materialism, and that's pretty much what he advocated, which is an ever evolving thing. So meaning like we got to get use socialism to get the people together, and no telling what comes up. It's ever moving. So it was basically the party's not being held to one ism or whatever, because we understood that Democrat, Republican, and all that stuff was basically two sides of the same coin. So we already knew that, so it was basically just a tactic, Now, however, he also understood that it can be used against you. Socialism can be used against you. And their response to the Panthers' free breakfast programs and all the programs was welfare, social programs. You understand? And that, along with the drugs and stuff, dismantled the black family for the most part. You know what I mean? Good 70 to 80%, maybe even more. So as again, I'm freestyling, excuse me, y'all. But I want to get y'all to understand that, but how that was the government response, because the people started understanding, well, how are the Panthers able to achieve more with less? So basically, essentially, they, the government response, was, drugs, COINTELPRO, and etc. But now, of course, I'm getting ahead of myself. But the importance of that is certain keys that the Panthers left as far as understanding the nature of your condition and what we need to do right now, and it's still primarily, although socialism, and I'm gonna get into that, is being used against us in a major way now, even beyond welfare and drugs and whatnot. And I'll get into that. But we still need to have a togetherness, communalism approach to this because we all in this together. So we definitely need to get into group economics or whatnot to get the people together. Now we know that's not the end all be all, but just like the party 10-point platform, it's the same thing. I don't care what you want to call it or whatever, the same principle to get the people together, you know what I mean, and defend other people, and people need to follow suit, and start getting educated or whatnot. And this is what we need to do right now, and that's the importance of the party right now. And people really need to research the political and ideological aspect of the party, but again, don't get too much swayed into the isms. You know what I'm saying? We spit ism, but we don't get swayed into the isms. You know what I mean? Meaning, like now, how socialism, and a lot of people don't understand this, how it's being used against you now, because, and this right here is just my opinion, that being that they didn't expropriate it so much, the major ruling class, the bankers, they got a master plan for the world to bring about their one world government. And in order to do that, they got to knock down the U.S. a notch. Now, you got a lot of politicians that's on board with that. Then you got a lot of politicians and people that's not. You know what I mean? From all races, but primarily I'm talking about, the white. So this is where the battle come from, and it seems like the left, which traditionally the Panthers was placed on, the left, you know what I mean, is actually being used to do this. And people got to understand that, so we got to be real careful on this. And I really advocate people to research the Black Panther Party, you know what I mean? And I'm going to put this out there, the Black Panther Party is not a racist group. It's not the opposite of the Ku Klux Klan or skinhead or some white supremacist group. You know what I mean? And as you know, you research back then, you'll see how they had plenty of white supporters of all groups. You know what I mean? But then again, you got to be aware of all kind of things, But please research, y'all. And I'm being straight up. Y'all need to research this. But like I said, primarily I'm speaking to African people. But, all groups, understanding the degree of the Black Panther Party. So when you see the Black Panther Party, or when you see us moving in a posture similar to that, it's not a threat or a detriment to you or even your way of life. It's really focusing on us and getting our way of life in order. You know what I mean? All the stereotypes, the drugs, gang violence, prisons, you know what I mean? Which is, of course, part of the oppression. All of this is really, you know what I mean? But this is basically what we need to do. It's basically our response as a group to what is happening to us. That's what we need to work on, So, again, man, y'all, man, hit the like, man, subscribe or dislike or whatnot. I'm going to be hitting y'all a lot more because we need to start understanding a lot of things, really though. And this is not, again, the Black Panther Party is not anti any group, but we're anti-oppression. You know what I mean? And, as you see right here, Black Panther 55th anniversary coming up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all stay tuned. All power to the people.